What do you think of when you imagine a communication trainer? A stale seminar room, an ill-fitting polyester suit, a few circles on the flip chart? Well, think again. Enter Dr. Thomas A. Coucoulis, known as the Rampenpfau. A tattooed noble punk, a self-confessed hedonist, and a sophisticated wine lover that shines not only with his professional expertise, but also thanks to a ton of skull rings and designer clothes. Sweet people, what's happening? If you're looking for the sweet spot of your brand, you've come to the right place. This is the Sweetspot Podcast. I'm your host, Marc Suess, and today I'm talking again to a good friend of mine, Dr. Thomas A. Coucoulis, known as the Rampenpfau. He's known for his business podcast, Ausgesprochen Ausgetrunken, his coaching for contestants of the German version of the Shark Tank, and numerous appearances as a speaker. So it's a pleasure to present to you the second half of our conversation. We talked about luxury brands like Louis Vuitton serving as an object of identification to personal brands of well-known entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. In this podcast, you learn why the future lies in strong personal brands and which steps you need to take and which questions you have to ask yourself to establish your own. So without further ado, enjoy the second half of my talk to Dr. Thomas A. Coucoulis.
Welcome to the Sweet Side. This is the Sweetspot Podcast with Marc Suess, investigating entrepreneurship, purpose, and the creative life.
We are back and we got another bottle of white wine. And this brings me to my next topic because this wine it's also a German winery. It's called Drei Freunde, Three Friends.
Yeah.
It's a wine made by one professional winemaker. She's part of the team. She's one of the three friends. And two celebrities from Germany.
Yeah.
The TV host, Joko Winterscheid, he does entertainment, TV hosting.
Yeah.
And by the actor Matthias Schweighöfer, and he did Army of the Dead and Army of Thieves. With Zack Snyder, the Netflix movies.
Yeah, I've seen one of the trailers recently.
Yeah.
Look pretty nice.
Yeah. If you're into zombie movies, actually, the Zack Snyder one is pretty. I am. Pretty. Me too. It's pretty fun because you have this for the first time. It's set in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he, of course, put one of the Siegfried and Roy, the white tigers, is a zombie tiger.
Awesome.
And just for this one scene, is worth watching the whole movie. So
I mean, I also love the whole Walking Dead franchise, but I also love the funny stuff.
Yeah.
This is Zombieland.
Yeah.
I totally dig Zombieland.
Totally. Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray. God love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen the second part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good?
I like the first one better, but
yeah, sure.
It's a new taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a nice in the second part they visit talking about big, strong personal brands.
Yeah.
They come to Elvis's old home. And
No
Elvis
way.
plays a huge part in this. Yeah.
I haven't seen this.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix now. It's fun.
I mean, it's Emma Thompson.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
It's like a Cheers limbo here in your studio.
That's right.
By the way,
beyond.
when I was at the bathroom during our little break, I've used your perfume. I hope you're fine with that.
I can smell it. I can smell myself. I'm fine with that.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
The bottle is, you have to imagine a bottle which is made of aluminum and it's like gold with intense purple. And this is exactly how it smells.
Yeah, it's a lot of oud. I really like it.
Yeah, and I think it's how your underwear looks, right?
It's not aluminum, but leather. But other than that, it's totally right.
A coat with intense purple. Awesome.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. Amazing. So I chose this wine for a little talk because if I imagine a communication or rhetorics trainer today, I wouldn't necessarily, especially in Germany, wouldn't think of someone like you. Because over the years, you established a really strong personal brand in terms of your sound, your looks, your media coverage, what you do on Instagram with your own podcast. So I was wondering, did you consciously work on your brand? Did there go any strategic thoughts into the Rampenpfau, which we also have to explain for the English-speaking audience what that actually means?
Yeah.
Or did this occur naturally and you grew into it?
No, it's an ongoing process, and it's still going on. And actually at the moment I'm in some kind of rebranding process, and I'm working on the brand right now, because at the moment I'm doing a process, some kind of retargeting for a new mentoring program, which will appear soon. And this mentoring program is like an online program, but guided by myself personally. And it helps you to develop a confident appearance for different situations within 3 months. Yeah. And it's something which bases on years and years and hundreds of clients in coaching and training. And this is the essence. And so at the moment, I'm reinventing myself and reinventing the Rampenpfau, but still keeping my roots. Yeah. And this process will go on forever, I think. As long as I live and as long as there's a Rampenpfau, then there will always be a rethinking, a rebranding, and a reinventing. And this is a process of growth. Yeah. I want to grow. I want to grow myself. I want to grow my personality, and I want to grow the brand. Yeah. And so never stop growing. Yeah. Always reinvent yourself. I mean, look at big companies. They are there for like decades or for like 100 years, and they still reinvent themselves. Maybe not totally, but they reinvent their appearance, they reinvent their marketing, they reinvent their cooperations with artists, and this is cool. Yeah, I'm personally a big fan of Louis Vuitton. Yeah, and I think Louis Vuitton is a brand who is extraordinary. It's an extraordinary example of reinventing yourself. It's been a luxury brand for like more than 100 years and still is something which is loved by all generations. Yeah. And best agers love Louis Vuitton and teenagers love Louis Vuitton. Yeah. Everyone loves Louis Vuitton. Everyone wants to have it. And they are awesome at their marketing. They always reinvent themselves and work together with artists. And they had a cooperation. They did a cooperation with the developers of Fortnite and designed some Fortnite trophy. So like teenagers doing this shooter game can get a Louis Vuitton trophy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, but it's amazing because it's really a progressive way to get in touch with a young audience that will maybe grow into one day purchasing your brand.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And this is such an amazing approach.
Yeah, it's what Porsche, or as the Americans say, Porsche. That's what they do. They collaborate with even local artists or influencers, even people that are not well known internationally. On a very local scale, they sponsor amazing cars to local influencers that will impact a young audience that will one day maybe be able to afford a Porsche. So
they even have a TV spot which functions that way. There's a boy, he's like 12, 13 years old, and he goes to a car retailer and he talks to a salesman and asks him if he can sit into the Porsche. And he sits there and just feels the leather and feels the steering wheel, and then he gets out and asks for a business card. And the sales guy gives him a business card, and then he says, okay, I'll get back to you in like 10 years.
Amazing. Oh, amazing.
That's so cool.
Spot.
Yeah, that's like awesome.
That. That's
awesome.
Great.
But this is brand building.
Absolutely.
This is thinking for the future. Yeah. Not like, what can I sell now? But what can I sell in the next 10, 20, 30 years?
This is awesome. Absolutely. Well, before we touch on popular brands or other personal brands, maybe we should start. I mean, I said it in the intro already, but maybe in your own words, how would you describe what the Rampenpfau is for English-speaking folks?
Okay, the Rampenpfau is based on the Rampensau, which is a German term for someone who likes to be in like the midst of people, and he likes to have an audience. Yeah.
Kind of a show off also.
Kind of a show off. And there's an English term for that, stage hog.
Yeah.
And someone who is very eager to have an audience, and in some way is not very elegant.
Yeah.
And the idea behind the Rampenpfau is to be in front of an audience, but with style, with elegance, and not pushy.
Yeah, because Pfau means peacock.
Exactly. The Rampenpfau is like the stage peacock.
Amazing.
Not the stage hog, but the stage peacock.
Amazing, yeah.
And imagine the peacock in a beautiful park. The peacock is totally natural, being in front of an audience, being in the center of people and being watched and being like beautiful. Peacocks always were royal animals, and in some countries only kings were allowed to have peacocks. So
absolutely.
It's a very distinguished animal.
Yeah.
But
it's still on stage, it's still performing.
But not being keen on it, not being eager to get there, just being there. And the interesting thing is, peacocks, when you hear a peacock crying, it's ugly as fuck. A peacock has a very squeaky bird voice.
Yeah.
It's not very beautiful. You hear it. It's more the voice of a Rampensau than a Rampenpfau. It's not beautiful. Luckily, peacocks don't sing that much, if you can call it singing. Yeah. It's more like crying.
It's a standout voice.
It's a standout voice.
Recognizable.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. And I mean, not only you found a great brand name.
Yeah.
I think you also embody something. And that's something I appreciate so much when I see what you do in terms of brand communication and everything.
Yeah.
I think you apply this idea of representing something that the audience wants to achieve when working with you. Because a lot of people, especially if you're a service provider or if you're coaching people to become something, a lot of people just identify themselves as the helper, but they don't always embody the goal. And I think the way you present yourself, covered in tattoos, skull rings, a lot of self-esteem in terms of style and the way you speak and the way you present your brand and your content, is just something that really represents what I can achieve if I become your client. And this is something I really appreciate, because that's not that common, you know?
Yeah, I
really like it.
I know. It's impersonating your brand, and you have to get there. Yeah. This is nothing you can buy.
No, because you have to be very crystal clear on what your brand is. What do you stand for? Yeah, sure. How do you sound? How do you look? Which are your channels? What story do you actually tell? Yeah, absolutely.
It's a process, and this process, as I mentioned before, it's ongoing, and it took me years, like decades, to get to that point where I am now. And I don't think I am finished now, not at all. I think, of course, it's an ongoing process, and by the time I am what I am now, and it's good that way. But in 10 years, I'm gonna be different, and it will be good by then.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm the enfant terrible in a suit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's great. And maybe in 10 or 20 or 30 years, I will be the guru who lives on Mallorca and just wears white shirts and nothing besides that.
Fuck yeah.
Iggy Pop style.
We will do another episode then on the beach.
Yeah,
in your ashram.
maybe. In my ashram. Yeah, my coaching ashram. Maybe.
Amazing.
I don't know. I can imagine myself in different settings, and this is the thing.
Yeah.
Keep your mind open and keep yourself open to development. The tree who grows is open. He strives for growing. He strives to the sky, but he doesn't have a 10-year plan. He doesn't think about, okay, I will do this now because in 10 years I will look like that. No, he just grows.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what you touch on there is a very important thing, because it's a mixture between openness, spontaneity, reacting, and at the same time acting to push growth and have some kind of goals. And what I see, if people not only want to establish their brand, but also in terms of being a startup or having ambitious goals as an entrepreneur, I think what you described there is something that applies in general for a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors that you start. I think you have to have some kind of direction where you want to go, and even long-term goals, but at the same time be open that if there's a little hurdle, or if there's something in your way, or if speaking in the tree picture, if you have to grow around something, you still have to be flexible enough to do that. Otherwise you're stuck. Because I mean, what is pretty clear to me, having had a startup which was not the right environment for me in terms of values, in terms of working environment, the more precise your goals are and the more committed you are to some kind of business plan and numbers and spreadsheets, the more often you have to say no.
Totally.
And this is something on a very deep level that does not resonate with me, being a creative with high openness, a very fluid personality who says yes to a lot of things and wants to try out things, and having to say no to 99% of everything because you just need to achieve this one spreadsheet goal was soul crushing, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think this is a matter of personality. And I mean, you're an artist personality. You're an artist guy, you're a creative guy. And I'm curious what you will bring into the world within the next decades. Because
no one knows.
Yeah, because with you and your mission, your vision, you're pretty clear on your mission and your vision. But how you will deliver that, no one knows.
Yep.
And this is so interesting because you're not so fixated on one way. You can do that. It's fine to do that. Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur and you say, okay, I got a plan. Within the next 5 years, I want to have 300 employees.
Absolutely.
I want to build up this thing. I want to have 300 employees in 3 years. And in 5 years, I want to sell this thing and then do the next project. It's okay. It's cool.
Absolutely.
Be committed. Do your thing. But it's totally different. And you are a total different personality when you want to do that and when you feel that. Yeah. You like driven by the figures, driven by your business plans, and this is okay. I mean, you experienced it yourself with a business partner back then. Yeah. And you are not that person. So you decided to make something totally different or to have a different approach. I mean, your brand studio is it's not an agency. It's like, how do you say? It's like the tailor for the
it's like a tailor-made or a boutique, like a brand boutique.
The brand boutique, right? And I always think about, okay, one thing is to build up a company who produces like fast fashion stuff and sells it to the world and scales as fast as possible. And you're like on Savile Row, I think about dark wood and leather, Chesterfield, and you sit there and smoke a cigar, and then there's some guy in a very cool suit and smells like oud and comes there.
I take that.
And measures your whole body and then makes your perfect suit. And this is how I see you in brand building. And this is what you deliver. And it's totally different. I mean, if you want the fast fashion shit and wash it 3 times, then throw it away, get something new. All right, do it. But if you want the tailored shit, if you want the thing which lasts for like 10 or 15, 20 years, then get to Sweetspot Studio.
Jesus, thanks. And cut. We're finished. That's all I needed. Perfect. We're done for today.
Here's your testimonial.
Amazing. Thanks, man. No, but awesome. But I think this is something that everyone listening should really think about, because no matter how big your ambition is or what your training is or what your craft is or what your vision for your business is, I think it's so important what your personality type is and what you resonate with and how your your outside goals in terms of business goals, numbers, spreadsheets, investors, the team you have to lead, the financial things you have to reach, how they resonate within your personality structure. Because if that's not a match, you can still aim for the same goal, but the route will be very different. That's what I experienced the hard way.
Yeah.
If you were smart and you're happy to listen to this before you do it, maybe there's a little easier way to do it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
Sure is.
So if we stick to the personal brand for a minute, if I look around, I have the feeling that personal brands will play a big role for entrepreneurs and solopreneurs of all kinds in the future.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think everyone needs their own personal brand? Or is this something that's only specific to some people? How do you see this whole personal brand topic?
I don't think you need to own a personal brand. This sounds to me like a trend, and I don't like to push people into trends if it's not their selves. You don't have to be a personal brand if it's not you.
Yeah.
You then don't have to build up a startup if it's not you. Do your thing. But for people who say, I don't want like a mass product, like a company I scale and then I sell it, but to build something that lasts, then personal brand is definitely something you should consider, because the future lies within personal branding. You don't have to impersonate your brand. You don't have to be a personal brand. But if you build something which should last, then think about personal branding. And if it's not you, then get a partner and maybe make him the personal brand, or make an influencer the personal brand. I mean, we talked about Drei Freunde Wein, and this is the whole concept of it. I mean, Juliane Eller, the winemaker, she's known for her own brand, Juwelweine, and personally, I think those are the better wines. And the Drei Freunde wines are more like the mass the mainstream stuff. The mainstream stuff, exactly. And they sell because of Matthias Schweighöfer and Joko Winterscheid. Yeah. And her Juwel stuff sells because of her cooperation with Joko Winterscheid and Matthias Schweighöfer. She wouldn't have become that famous if it wasn't for this cooperation thing with Drei Freunde. But the really good wines, the wines are still very mainstream compatible, but on a different level. Yeah. So we have to consider that. And for a wine enthusiast, as I am, I would always prefer the Juwelweine, but they are more difficult to get. They're not in a supermarket.
Probably more expensive.
Actually not.
No?
No.
Oh, wow.
Actually not. They're not more expensive, but it's harder to get them.
Okay.
And
I need a refill now that we talk about it.
Definitely. And this is interesting because the better product is still the weaker brand.
Yes, and now we're at the juicy part of the whole discussion, because that's exactly what I was asking. Because I think if you want to establish a personal brand, you can come to you first and then to me, or to me and then to you. Because I think it's the outside and the inside part. To establish a lasting personal brand, you really have to be very clear about your purpose, your mission, your vision, your personality types. Maybe you need some NLP skills, as we established before. And then, of course, you got to find a way to transport it in terms of design, in terms of storytelling or media products or whatever. Yeah. But I think you always need the inside and the outside part. It's like two sides of one coin or something. No matter if you're an entrepreneur, an artist, or a personal brand, successful brands are storytellers. They capture the attention of their audience by sharing engaging and meaningful content. Every company, entrepreneur, or creative has an amazing story to tell. The question is, what's yours? I help you find and share your story with the world. This brand storytelling can include content creation, video production, social media marketing, websites, or creating your own custom storytelling formats. With a cross-media content strategy, editorial plans for your daily work, and a long-lasting brand narrative, you'll be able to build a great audience. It's time to tell your story. Check out sweetspot-studio.com and get in touch. And now, let's get back to the show. Maybe you had a client that wants to pursue some kind of personal branding. Mm-hmm. Where do you start the process with them?
The thing is, if you're limited by your fears, by your belief system, and you're not confident enough to get on that stage and show yourself and talk about your vision and talk about your mission. Mm-hmm. If you still doubt yourself, if you still doubt your vision you want to bring into this world, and if you still doubt about your legacy, then we cannot start putting you on stage. You need to know what your legacy is. And as we speak and and think about this, I think it's a process where we need to work hand in hand. And I think that people need to talk to you to like find this vision of their brand. And at the same time, they need to talk to me to be confident enough to talk about it in public and get this on stage, or into podcasts, or into blog articles, to interviews and whatever. And I think it's a hand-in-hand process.
100%.
It's nice. New business idea here.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
The sweet V or something.
Yeah. The sweet. Rampenspot.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet cock.
We Wait, that's a third venture we're not going to debate on air.
All right.
Okay, that we will do offline.
All right.
Okay, perfect idea though. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, Thomas, I would like to talk about some famous personal brands. I am watching a lot of well-known entrepreneurs, celebrities, or people in the public eye.
Yeah.
And I always love to see them develop their own personal brands. To be honest, I have some weird fascination for when personal brands crash, for when brands collaborations go wrong.
Oh, your dark side.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
It's like my trash TV addiction or something, you know. But it's interesting because you can also learn from other people's failure.
Oh, it's and if you see Marilyn Manson in you.
But is there anyone out there, any celebrity entrepreneur who thinks does a great job in terms of establishing their own personal brand? Who do you look up to or look out for?
It's kind of cheesy, but I like Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's making the headlines nowadays.
Yeah.
As we talk in mid-May 2022.
Yeah.
So he's just about, is he going to buy Twitter for 40 billion? Is he not? Is he maybe? Is he? He's making the headlines once again. Of course.
I mean, of course. Buying Twitter and then posting on Twitter. Next thing, I will buy Coca-Cola and put the Coke back in.
Yes.
This is so cool.
Balls of steel.
Yeah, it's exactly. And this is something I recently read in an article about becoming successful as an entrepreneur and a brand, like personal brand. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Just do it. And just do the thing which no one expects.
Yeah.
Just do the thing where everyone says, no, don't do it. You can't do it. Just don't do it. And just do it.
Why?
Because it's a pattern interrupt.
That's it. That's amazing.
Yeah. No one expects it. And the unexpected thing, this will get you so much on the headlines, on the tabloids, on blog articles, on podcasts. I mean, we are discussing Elon Musk right now, right?
Yeah.
Because he is what it is and he does what he does.
Because he smokes weed on a podcast, because he puts out all the big statements out there.
But I mean, I have to get to that because the weed smoking thing on the Joe Rogan show, wow. I mean, they made a big thing out of it, but I mean, it was in California where it is legal. And
also, it was one puff. But
Yes.
but anyway, I mean,
Yes.
that's the super fragile American economy.
I know. It was pretty big on the news, but actually,
100%.
I think this was not the big thing Elon Musk did. I think the Twitter stunt was much bigger, and then the post he got onto Twitter with Coca-Cola is so much cooler than the weed thingy.
Absolutely. Just in terms of resonance and pattern interrupt.
Yes.
There are very few big global, big scale, successful founders and business owners like him that would publicly even puff away on a joint once, and that's another pattern interrupt that you talked about.
Yeah. It's a big picture with him. I saw a meme recently, and it was like Elon Musk, he's divorced like 4 times, and he smoked weed in public, and he curses on social media, and he is fucking rich and fucking successful. So is this the recipe? Maybe.
Well, yeah, not for everyone, but that's exactly it. You got to go on the meta level and extract the things like you said, pattern interrupt, what suits your brand, what resonates with you, where is your comfort zone, all of that stuff we talked about today. I think this is the level of analysis that you have to apply.
Yeah.
If any random business owner from Brandenburg, Germany, mid-Wisconsin, US, wherever, if he smokes weed on Twitter, no one cares. You maybe lose a client or not. No one gives a shit, right?
No.
Yeah.
This is the point. But interrupt the pattern in your bubble. This is what's important.
Yeah.
Interrupt the pattern in your bubble and start from it. Make the journey. I mean, Elon Musk, look at pictures of him like 15, 20 years ago. Wow.
Money does make you sexier.
Yeah, and he got a great job with his hair, by the way.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And of course money makes you sexy. But not by the money itself.
But what
it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Most people who get money develop a mindset that they don't give a fuck. Not about everything, but on some things. And this is what makes it sexy. Don't give a fuck. Just do your thing. And if someone doesn't like it, say, all right. Okay. Yeah. I can resonate with it, or I can't, but I won't change myself. I won't doubt myself. I won't doubt my decisions, and I will still do my thing.
Yeah. That's, by the way, also something that you can, if you want to put it down to some numbers, if you have some kind of viral hits, or if your content you put out there really resonates with people, you always have a certain percentage of haters out there. If it doesn't affect anyone, you also don't get the lovers.
Yeah, actually it's like 10%. It's
something between 5 and 10. Yeah, it depends on the channel and everything. Yeah,
10 is good.
Yeah. So you always need a bunch of haters out there to actually provoke enough thought or be edgy enough to even have lovers. But you really have to let that sink in, because most businesses, when they start their social media strategy, and I have meetings with them, and they are so afraid to be edgy. They are so afraid of having one negative content. Resonance or comment or anything. Yeah. And fear is always bad. Fear always limits you. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to think about it, to reflect your decisions, but don't be afraid. Just try it. And if it doesn't work out, all right, change it. Sure. That's right. My father, who was an entrepreneur for over 50 years, said, better a wrong decision than no decision. Hell yeah.
Just do it. Just try it. And if it goes wrong, so what?
Yeah.
Change it.
Fail fast, fail often. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you will lose some money, you will lose some followers. Okay, life goes on.
But it's progress. It's not frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's not failure. It's just, it's feedback.
Yeah, totally. So I would really encourage everyone listening to this who has a brand or wants to establish a personal brand to try it out. Get a little bit out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Maybe have some storytelling or NLP or your own idea of your brand under the belt, and then really try out things and not be afraid of a couple of negative comments.
Just try things out. I can share a story for myself here.
Yeah.
When I started my brand, the Rampenv, I started as an artist coach because I came from that. I was an artist myself. I was a club DJ for like 10 years, and I considered myself an artist. I still do on some level, but I also consider myself as an entrepreneur. And by that time, I resonated with this artist thing. I came from that, and like from university, I was in this artist bubble, and there were lots of people who wanted to get famous with their art stuff, with their music, and almost no one did.
Of course, yeah.
Lots of them ended up at record labels or media production agency, and some of them even worked for city marketing and shit. Yeah. Why not? So
I mean, that's fine. Fair enough. That's okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I totally agree. But I considered myself as part of that bubble by that time. And then I had a business coach. He asked me, okay, what are your target audience, people you resonate with and who you want to work with? And I said, I resonate with artists, and I totally dig artists because that's where I come from. I come from a family which also had lots of artists and entrepreneurs. And so I resonate with the artist thing. And okay, we tried that. So I did artist coaching for like overcoming your stage fright and be confident on stage when you play your music, when you do your performances, when you be in front of the camera as an actor.
Yeah.
I got so much positive feedback on that. So many people wrote me and said, wow, that's so cool. I always dreamt about that. I need that. And that's so good. And thank you for being there. Thank you for your ideas. I wrote a blog by that time. And was on podcasts and on YouTube interviews. And lots of people talked to me and said, wow, that's so cool. I need this. And how much does it cost? And then I hit them back and put up my number then, which was way less by then because I just started. And then I got email replies like, oh, okay. Do you think we can do half an hour of coaching? Will it get me to that point? Wow, that was a pretty tough time. And then at the same time, I got a call from a guy from Frankfurt. I'm in Hamburg, based in Hamburg, like you. And I got a call from a guy in Frankfurt, and he asked me, okay, I found you on the internet. You're an artist coach, and you help people overcoming their stage fright, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm at a business agency, and I'm an analyst, and I need to do my presentations, and I'm afraid. Can you help me? Sure. It's the same mechanism in psychology. Yeah, I can help you. Yeah. All right. When do you have time? Need help fast? Okay. Yeah, we can find an appointment. Okay, I will. You know what? I will come on Saturday. I will drive up the morning. Then we work the rest of the day. All right. You have time? Okay. Good. See you then. He never asked for the price.
Even ask for the fucking price.
Never.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
And this was an epiphany for me considering my business plans. Because I thought about, wow, there are those kind of customers out there who want to buy my shit, who want to pay me for helping them. Yeah. All right. I want those customers.
Sure.
I mean, I still work with artists from time to time, and it's great. I love artists, and I love to be in contact with them. Yep. But I mean, I need to pay my shit too.
Sure.
So,
and also you can. That's what we touched on before. You still follow your calling, and you still stay true to your purpose.
Exactly.
You just found a way to make it work in terms of your business.
Yes, and I grew. I mean, this was like more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I grew by the new peer group I was in.
Yeah.
I was more in the peer group of entrepreneurs and managers and CEOs of big companies, and I developed myself further, and I still love artists, and I consider myself as a creative kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I'm also more and more becoming the entrepreneur and have more and more focus on that. And some people who haven't seen me for some years, when they see me again, they say, wow, you just talk about figures and just talk about money. And I say, maybe in your focus, it's all right, but I feel it. And I'm
absolutely,
I'm a businessman. I'm working with businessmen, and businesswomen, of course.
Yeah.
To get that right. And it's okay. I feel that. It's my identity. And this is what I mean with growing.
Yeah.
I grew into that.
Yeah. 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 And it's a constant development. And it's absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, last question about personal branding. What do you make of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial?
Oh, wow.
Because I follow it in terms of my addiction to trash TV. I sometimes watch some snippets from this whole thing.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like a perfect stage performance. But I wonder, from your perspective, looking at it through your eyes with stage performance and all that stuff you got under your belt, what do you make of that?
I'm actually not watching the content that really shows the process.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine, he's an expert in relationships and especially in toxic relationships. And he does YouTube videos where he analyzes this process.
Nice.
And so I got something from him, and it's the prototype of a toxic relationship. And they try to make a brand out of it, or a rebranding, because their old brands are fucked up by their toxic relationship and how they got it on the media. And now they're trying to rebrand themselves and try to save themselves and find something new out of it. And I think they will make something new out of it. Well, Johnny Depp
at least one of them.
Yeah, at least one of them. And I think it's going to be Johnny Depp because he's the real actor on that play.
He said it. Everyone thinks it.
Yeah.
He just said it. Yeah, but seriously, I can only recommend, or I would like to watch one of those trial videos with you, because it's so interesting. His body language, his facial expression, everything is either perfectly scripted or he embodies the role he plays on that witness stand. Because I think it's really interesting. He really saves his personal brand here in real time. Over the course of this trial, I think he will come out of it totally, and he will have reactivated all of his fans.
You have to consider the whole process, not only the trial, but also the interviews.
Sure.
The social media content and the way he shows himself in public, the way he dresses, the way he works with body language, as you mentioned. It's not only the trial, it's the whole process of rebranding yourself. It's much bigger than the scenes in the courtroom. And this is what I meant. So consider the whole concept behind it. And
exactly.
And at the moment, he's not the drunk pirate anymore. No, he's the guy in a suit. Who got abused as a man. The prototype of a man.
Allegedly, let's be safe. So I mean, bottom line, it's not about the who's right, who's wrong, who's gotten convicted or not. Just in terms of your personal brand, how do you present yourself to the world on a very different stage? Because going back to what we said right at the beginning. Where is your comfort zone? Where is your stage? This is a very different stage for both of them. And I think Depp has found in his way a very authentic and consistent way to present his personal brand. he still is, with a wink in his eye, a little bit of the drunk pirate, even on the witness stand. He makes some remarks like, well, isn't every hour happy hour, and stuff like that. And the whole courtroom is laughing. So he totally wins them over. Cheers to that. Well, on that note, we should come to an end, because the sweet people will have so much to think, and I think they take so much away from this. Thank you so much. I have 2 questions I ask all of my guests. I asked you the same questions in German, now in English. Is there something that really inspires you at the moment? Could be books, movies, series, anything that you want to share with the sweet people listening.
What inspires me at the moment is that in my life are going on some pretty big changes. And yeah, on the one hand, on a business level, on the one hand, on a personal level. And this is my personal development zone. On the one hand, it's painful and challenging. And on some days I'm so tired. I get home after a 14, 60-hour day and I just fall into my bed. I'm so tired I can't even eat. Yeah. And on the other hand, it's so great because I feel life and make experiences on a totally new level. And I'm grateful for that. I mean, the gratefulness, to be honest, at some moments I don't feel them, but it's always about growing. Yeah. And this is what inspires me at the moment.
Feel life and be inspired. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And my last question is, you mentioned it before, there's a mentorship program coming up, because the last question is, what can we look out for? Mm-hmm. I know you have a lot under your belt.
Yeah.
Let it be social media. Maybe the podcast is coming back. Who knows? And there's a mentorship
One
program.
day.
Let the sweet people know what's going on in your life and what we can look forward to.
Well, we are in the midst of May 22 right now. And pretty soon you will be able to apply for my mentoring program. I developed a mentoring program, as mentioned, from my experiences from years and years of coaching and training for your confident appearance. It's for presentations, it's for public speaking, it's for being in leadership and working with your staff, being in the media. It's for every situation where you need to be convincing to an audience. And this is pretty deep shit. I developed this for like 2 years based on the experience of more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So this is the real shit.
I got a little sneak peek for it. I can only say it's entertaining. You learn a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
You should absolutely check it out. It's absolutely worth it. It's going to change your total approach.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan already.
I mean,
nice.
We can say so much. You're also an expert, one of the few experts I have on the programs. We had a little talk about your expertise and what you think about those approaches I have there. And it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It will be out.
If you listen to this episode sometime after June, July 2022, you'll just find the link to the program in the show notes.
Sure.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
In the show notes and of course on my website.
Yes. Also in the show notes.
Amazing.
Thomas, what can I say? It was, as always, a huge pleasure. Let's open up a third bottle and have a nice evening off air. Thanks so much for being on the show. It was a real joy.
Thank you so much for having me. Let's open up a third bottle of wine and then get to that Pashmina Oud again.
Woohoo! Sweet people, it's a wrap. That was the second part of my conversation with Dr. Thomas A. Coucoulis. It's always a great pleasure to talk to him and exchange thoughts on how to build and perform as an entrepreneur, as a personal brand. I'm sure you all have taken away a lot from these talks. If you want to find out more, check out the links in the show notes or visit my website, sweetspot-studio.com. Next week, I'll be back talking to Graham Brown. He's an expert for business storyteller. He helps corporate leaders to find an authentic voice, and we'll do a deep dive into the world of storytelling. That's it for this week. If you enjoy the Sweetspot podcast, like and subscribe, and I'll hear you on the sweet side.
This podcast is produced by Sweetspot Studio. New episodes each week, wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you enjoyed the show, leave a rating and subscribe to never miss an episode. Find out more at sweetspot-studio.com.